Right. Right, we'll start now. People are still coming in. I don't know what I think I set the link out a bit earlier. Right, happy Wednesday. As we saw yesterday, going through it was the worst day in equities, so to speak. Strangely, that's a long time for us bear traders, which I class myself as one, for over 2 months, which sounds an eternity, and we'll go through it in a minute. But that's how long we've been in the bull market for. Over 2 months ago. Quickly go through what we've got today, so to speak. Again this week we're very light on data. We obviously had the UK CPI, PPI, and RPI earlier this morning, and they were all slightly higher, but not enough, as we saw yesterday in the German to move the markets. I'm just going to turn the squawk down. That you can hear there. There we go again. To go through slightly higher, so that did push the FTSE down slightly at 7 o'clock. If you were here, not a lot, 5-6 ticks. It was running back up to where we were before. 9:05, Bank of England Ramsden speaks. He is neither a hawk nor a dove. So it'll be interesting what he says. 9:30, UK house prices are out. That'll be interesting because of those who have read the newspaper today, for new time buyers, they're allowed up for the first time, I think, since 2008, to go up to 5.5 to 6 times their joint earnings. That normally tells you that's the highest in the house price markets to come down. 11:30, UK, Mr. Bailey. He's the chairman of the Bank of England. He'll be speaking. We're not sure what of. 1:30, we have the Canadian CPI, and it's all Canada. After that, the 3 o'clock, we have the Bank of Canada's decision in their rates. They're currently 0.25. We don't expect them to be moved. However, the decision may be of interest to the next 2 or 3 central bank decisions. Obviously, ECB tomorrow, FOMC and Bank of England to follow. Whether they will hike quicker than 2023, where they said 6 weeks ago. 4 o'clock, obviously, the chairman of the Bank of Canada, Mr. Macklin, speaks. That is the data for the day. I did think that Powell spoke every Wednesday at 5 o'clock, but he's not down to speak yet. However, Mr. May come back to us and tell us that he's due. Again, reasons why the FTSE, worst day for 2 months. The FTSE was down 140 ticks, roughly 2%. The rumours why there was a rise in COVID-19 infections hit mainly the travel companies, and threatens of the new nicotine rules in the United States wiped 6 billion off the tobacco firms. India was also added to the red list. However, the FTSE, surprisingly, is still up 6.2% year on year. Obviously, with the positive jobs data that came out on yesterday, pushed sterling up to $1.40, which was also its highest level in 6 weeks too. No surprise there. Also, most people realise that if sterling does rally, it does tend to hit FTSE, and FTSE at one stage was the worst performing index in the world yesterday. And what was quite strange, if you looked at the indices chart, we did see we did see every index in the world in the red yesterday. Obviously, overnight, Netflix had less than 4 million new users in Q1. That's 2 million shy of what they were expecting, and 12 million less subscribers than in Q1 2020. Now, their shares got walloped, I think, 11% after hours yesterday. The Netflix obviously came out fairly early. I think it was about 9:10 yesterday. The other one is J&J vaccines are going to continue after the blood clot rumour that's come out. That should be fairly positive coming to the market. The other one we said yesterday, the German Green Party has taken over the Christian Democrats, 28% to 21%. And obviously the US football clubs have withdrawn their threat to leave. Overnight, anything else? The Nikkei obviously declined 2% on the new lockdown, carrying on slightly longer, a week longer than thought. And obviously, Powell spoke last night. He wasn't supposed to speak, but what he said that, I've written down here, Powell has the tools available to address any 1970s style inflation. and he does not seek inflation above 2% for too prolonged a period. A slight change to what he said the previous week. Obviously, all the news and eyes were on cryptocurrencies yesterday, and Dogecoin fans pushed for crypto to new high yesterday, i.e., April 20th, as it was both Marijuana Day and a Dodge Day. However, you can read into that to whatever you want. Again, on the opening here, what am I going to look at? I'm going to look at the DAX to see what we have here on the price action, the opening. Let's get it up on the screen here. George, you're going to have a look at FTSE. Again, yesterday, for instance, we didn't have that much of a move on the opening. There was no obvious price action or thing. We did see the DAX obviously move around about 2 minutes or 3 minutes past 8 slightly afterwards. So in theory, there wasn't a scalp on the DAX and indeed the FTSE as such, but there was afterwards. And obviously on the DAX and everything else, that was the catalyst, was obviously the inflation figure, which was obviously better, i.e. inflation's better, it's worse for the indices. And then the whole markets kind of came down like a pack of cards. We are basically seeing both the DAX and the FTSE tick up before the 8 o'clock close. Again, patience is required here. Most people ran their profits well yesterday once the market started coming down, and obviously use the charts available and the market profile to run those profits further. Some of you were over trading, and some of you were obviously sniping your profits, and a lot of you said your trading journals are over. I think if you looked at it in hindsight, we can always look at it afterwards, but I think some of you left a lot more money on the table, and had you been a bit more patient and believed in your stops, you could have nicked probably another 50 or 60 ticks on quite a few of your trades. Again, if you're sniping, remember we're looking at 3 to 4 times of profits compared to our stops. Some of your profits were probably the same value as your stops. If you do that, you end up in ever decreasing circles. Right, enough of that. Let's have a look, see if we can see some price action on a fairly quiet Wednesday morning. There's one other thing I put on there. There is a webinar by the Chicago Board of Trade, CME, or Chicago Mercantile Exchange rather, about the new Bitcoin mini futures. If you want it, I'll email that out again to you. I think that they are due out on the first week of May, and obviously they're trying to publicize it, and it's going to be 150th the size of the current Bitcoin, which would be interesting for all your retail traders. Right, here we go. Bit of selling straight away in the DAX there. Nothing to write home about yet on price action. Again, those of you who don't understand price action, it's just simple supply and demand. Let's see if we're coming up here. We don't seem to be much in here. What do we see in here from yesterday? Not a lot here. POC is probably 10 ticks lower than here. Not much to see in here. What do we see? Probably up to just above the figure, or 115.82. What we got on FTSE, George?
FTSE's just above the POC. I think it's just bounced. Yeah, it's just above it. POC 878.
We're right on the POC in the DAX here, and the value high. Remember, a lot of people were short from last night, and currently we are probably in the descendancy. I'm still fairly bearish in the market, but again, you wait for the price action. Again, we're right on the POC here, looking to go short. We're just through the POC now, and let's see if it holds the shorts here, and then I'll be looking to add to go short.
I went short FTSE.
Yeah. There we saw the again on the 8 o'clock 80. We had to wait a bit of time to go here. We were below the POC, so we're looking to go short. Let's have a quick look at where the FTSE is. We were back. We were basically where we were. Obviously, this is where we were at 7 o'clock when the figures came out. Hovering over the POC, we might have to wait a bit of time to come in here, but fairly quiet, fairly muted on the opening. but I said that at the moment we're still in that bearish phase. Right then, that's about it. Those of you who want anything on your one charts, we'll come back to you. We're trying to do an options seminar as well, and we'll send that out to you later. Okay. Remember, be patient today and wait for that news to come out. I'll speak to you later.
Thank you, gentlemen.
No.
Have a good day.